Hello and welcome to a little race roundup that I've got of Darley Moor. Now, this is one of the house race team series, and you're going to catch me right from the start here. So, starting at 1 minute and 3 seconds in the right hand corner. Now, this is the second race that I've done in the past couple of weeks where I've got like the strongest start that I've ever got. Right, I am talking right foot straight down, left foot straight into the pedal, and I am off like a rocket. Right. I'm off with a teammate of mine at this point, and that is it, right? It's a 3-4 field that I'm racing in at the moment. I'm racing a couple of elite races, but I could only make the 3-4 on this Saturday. So I'm on the 3-4, and I've got my teammate on my wheel. You'll see that my power just dipped down a little bit there as we had a little chat, and we were like, are we gonna try this? This is like a whole hour of racing here. Are we gonna have a little bit of a go at this? So we thought, sod it, why the hell not, right? We've got a couple of teammates in the bunch who'll probably set up. What I'd come to this race with was a goal to just make it really hard. I just wanted to make it really hard for me because it was a training race, but I also wanted an opportunity to get a little bit of a podium in if I possibly could, which I do, and I do it from a break and a little bit of a chase as well. So stick around, have a little bit of a nosy at that because it was hard fought. It was hard fought, and do I get the win? Is it second? Is it third? Well, stick around, have a little bit of a look. So as we're coming from Darley, that whole straight that you've just seen there, we've got a cross headwind coming in from the left-hand side as you're going up the road. So you come back down and you come back into a little bit of a cross wind from here as well. Now, that's my teammate, Josh Todd, absolute beast on the bike. The top sprinter in Ilkeston at the moment. You can't keep the guy off the podium himself from a bunch sprint. Rocking the rim brakes as well, which I've got a rim brake Ridley, so always nice. Makes me feel included as I'm looking at the arse end of his bike here, right? So this is a nice little slow descent here, as that last straight that we come from, if you're not familiar with Darley, is a slow uphill. Josh here is just doing a big turn here. I'm having to sit still at 200 plus watts just on his wheel. We've had a little bit of a chat in terms of viability, and yeah, we were shrugging our shoulders a little bit in terms of let's give it a go, let's get warm, let's make it hard, but this is not full commitment, right? Now, we've stuck with this little shot before we move on because I want to show you Darley if you've not seen Darley before. So Darley, if you have a look on the top left, is very much a triangle, which they've added a hairpin in on one end to make it more exciting. This corner here is almost a pedal through. Definitely at the pace that we're doing here at sort of 26, 27. We were pedaling through their bar maybe right on the apex of the corner. You come up here and this is a slightly steeper than you would expect segment as you come up from the corner into this chicane here. Sort of only 2-3%, but when it's flying along, if somebody dabs the brakes in the corners, it can feel absolutely brutal. This chicane into this start finish line that's coming up here always plays a big part in any race at Darley because first man into the chicane, if they sprint out the other side, they're going to take the win. Now we're rejoining here at 13 minutes in. I've been sat up a little, and we actually rejoin when I have sat up quite dramatically because we've got a teammate up in the brake trying to control a little bit on that corner. You'll see I moved straight over. That was because somebody was going to go chase, but there you go. He didn't let me stop him there, and kudos to him, right? The brake starts to come back, right? James is going to have a go to get in there, but these guys aren't working, and this was a lot of what this race was like, right? Is as soon as it set up, somebody would attack, but people wouldn't work for it. A couple of big lads there, though. I want you to just have a little bit of a look on the left, though, because as it's sitting up here, people are messing around. It's 14 minutes into the race. Nobody really wants to commit to do anything, but it's too easy, right? 240 watts on the front is way too easy. But we're coming up, we've got that headwind. And just there on the left-hand side is Dunk the Hunk, right? Popping in a major watt bomb. Dunk's been away from racing for a little while, right? First race back in a while, and he has absolutely thrown some watts down there. And do you know what? I thought, sod it. I'm going to go with him. I know Dunk. Let's chase him. The bunch had sat up again, and I just thought, I tell you what, I'm in. Let's hit this corner. Let's stay out of trouble. And just as I come around here, I've not got a massive gap on Dunk. The gap I've got to Dunk is the gap I've got to the group behind me. So, again, viability of this break, slim to nothing as far as I'm concerned. But I'm here to race. I'm here to make it hard. So, I'm off. I'm going to have a good go at it, right? I'm not going to work though, full disclosure. I'm not going to work for Dunk. I'm going to get on his backside and I'm gonna chase down this descent with him, and we'll have a look, get some nice photos, and we did get some nice photos here as well. If you have a look in the top right, this is what happened to our break. This was the same lap, got to the next corner, group are on us, they've decided to chase us, and I'd sat up. Let them chase on to Dunk though, just to try and keep some legs tired. I got right out of the way, off of the racing line, in the hope that a couple of those boys who were strong are going to have to work. So we're coming back now, and we're still in the early parts of the race, right? We're still in this first 20 minutes of the race. And what I wanted to show you here was just the joys of having a team around you. Been riding for Ilkeston now for 2 years. The race team is developing, and this is the first time I've really done a crit where we've had a good amount of team members. See on the left hand side there, that's Ollie having a little bit of a chat with me about one of the guys in front of us. I won't tell you who it is, not one of the ICC guys, that was just chopping lines everywhere, right? You hear the audio a little bit later, you might hear me shouting for people holding the lines, and it was all for this one guy. But again, I won't call him out by name, you know, we're all on a different learning journey. But yeah, proper choppy lines. I won't want to do a tight crit with somebody like that in the wheels. But having that team, having that support, I'm tired. I've tried to break 3 times there, and those guys are there to support me. So we're halfway through at this point, and the race has been hardish, but again, no real break attempts from anybody since the last one that I showed you. A couple of guys going off the front, attacking into the corners, but nothing that is actually sticking. Coming up this hill, coming up this ascent here, and we're strung out a little, but you can see I'm only doing 150 watts in the line, right? This is more of a choice of people not wanting to work, I think, than it being too hard on the front. As we come into this corner though, these boys are gonna have just a little bit of a go. I don't know if you just catch James there on the right hand side. He's just gonna get out of the saddle for a moment. There he goes, look, there he goes, just have a little bit of a go. Now, me being a dutiful team member and a dutiful friend to the club, I just forgot to sprint. You know what it's like. Just totally forgot to sit up there and have a go. So all of a sudden, there's a little bit of a gap, right? But again, just as I'd said last time, boys, these boys aren't going to work for this, right? And the whole group chases them. So, you know, it keeps the race lively, it keeps the race exciting. There were some strong legs in that break, and you'll see a couple of those numbers and a couple of those kits in the break that goes on to actually win the race and take the first couple of point scoring positions. But from sort of 30 minutes to near the end, not much happens, and we've just rejoined with 3 laps to go. We're 52 minutes in now, and this has been hard enough, right? This has been hard enough. My normalized power for this race ended up being about 320, 330 watts. So, you know, it was not an easy race, and this guy is going to want to make these last 3 laps as hard as he possibly can. In all fairness, look at the gap that he has got, right? That he has saved himself. He has saved those watts right to the end, and nobody wants to work for it. This guy on the right hand side have been chasing breaks all day, and even number 25 isn't going to go for it. So you got Dunk on the right hand side there. We're covering this off as a little cohort between ICC and Velospeed, but this guy has got a good gap here. The front of the line, the front of the peloton is a bit tetchy now. It's getting a little bit... Are we going to chase him? Look how far away he is, right? What are we going to do about this? I have a bit of a word with one of the guys from Vela Bavarian, a local club, a local race team, and say, are we going to go and get him? You know, it's 3 laps left to go, right? What are we going to do? And he was like, yeah, maybe we will. But you see here again, we're still not working hard. So I thought, right, this is it. I think I'm going to go for this. He is a good rabbit to go and chase if I'm the greyhound. And then the Beastin' Boy goes, and I knew he was going to be strong, so I was straight on his wheel after making it hard up that last part of the slow climb. We've already got a gap here. Nobody really chased us. You see him spotting there, and we've come into this corner tight, straight on the pedals, and first thing he does is he looks at me. He's just asked me what sort of brake we've got, and I've just said, let's go for it. Let's go and get him, right? And it's just me and the Beastin' guy, a couple of seconds on the group behind us already. Now, this bit is downhill, At full chat, it feels like a flat, right? It's maybe sort of like -1%, -2%, and even with a little bit of a cross tailwind, but not too much, it did not feel like I was getting much of a help here. But we may be, me and the guy from Beeston, we're maybe 3-4 miles an hour faster than we have been averaging in the peloton. But straight away, this guy's going over the top of me. He's taking turns, and it was much appreciated, right? What I didn't want to do is end up being pushed into doing that chase all on my own, especially because if you look at the corner, he's up on the corner right now, right? And the guy got a lead. I think if he'd have done that a lap later, he'd have won the race on his own. He'd have soloed away. We just wouldn't have been able to get that break because the group wouldn't have worked for it. It's coming into this climb here. It's my turn. It's my turn to take him up here. There's also a headwind on the next straight, so if I can, I'd like to avoid doing too much work on that headwind. I've been attacking the whole hour, so my legs are, they're delicate. I can feel that we're going to have to work hard for this. But we're working together pretty cohesively, starting to drag this guy in. You'll see on the left-hand side, we're going to see 2 laps to go here. Bit of a cheer. The race is exciting. Got some good shouting going on the right-hand side. Always appreciated. You get a crowd to a crit like this. I've done a couple of crits now over the last 2 years, and even a small crowd and a bit of shouting. You hear your name or you hear your number. It's much appreciated. It really does drive you on. Now, there's my rabbit. I want him. I want to chase him. I'm not going to let him win. And luckily, as this guy from Beeston comes over the top, I know that we're both feeling the same. And what a pull. What an absolute pull he does. If you look just where his left knee is, you'll be able to spot the guy into a headwind. Yes, maybe that guy has had to sit up a little bit. Maybe he's struggling now after that big drop and the lap on his own. But what a pull here. I'm doing best part of 400 watts in the wheel, right? And yeah, thank you very, very much for bringing us up there. But I think we're both cooking at this point, and we're both starting to feel a little bit hot. There's a lap and a half to go at this point, but we're feeling good. I was feeling like we could take this. Looking back at the group, we got, in my head, what was maybe 20 seconds plus to the group, right? But I hadn't had a count. Nobody's there to shout me and tell me how much it is. I'm just going off of distance and how good it was feeling to be away, right? So he's let me in on the corner. I've come round on the corner, and as we've turned round, I've just spotted that we've got a couple of guys who've attacked the peloton and are going to chase over to us. So I don't kick too much out of this corner because I want those guys to get onto this group. I want those guys to get to us, and I want to kick on as a bigger group than just the 2 of us. I would rather get up and come 5th from a group of 5 than put all this work in as a pair and then get caught on the line. Something that I have had happen at Darley last year, and it is absolutely heartbreaking, right? You put all that work in. Number 9, absolute hitter, right? Real guy who can just get a little group working. He was giving us some shouting. As soon as there was some sitting up later on, he was having absolutely none of it. But I'm on the front again. I'm watching this video over. Again, I feel like I maybe did a little bit too much work on the front here, especially as I see the guy from Beeston as well, right? Yes, they've just jumped over, but, we've been on our own, right? There's my man from VB. We're coming into this corner now. Coming to this corner quick. So you see here that these guys aren't pedaling through this corner. And that was something that I paid a little bit of attention to, just ready for the sprint, because I would have turned my pedals a little bit later and started turning again a little bit earlier than these guys did. And I thought maybe they're just holding themselves, but maybe this is a little bit of an opportunity for me. I'm going to let him come in. I feel like I'm doing too much work at this point, right? So I'm going to let him come in. He's not going to give that wheel up. I'm going to sit in, stay in, and I'll do some work. I definitely want to do some work. I'd rather come 5th, but you see here that people are just starting to sit up. The VB guy there throwing a hand in, the international symbol of do some work, please, right? Everybody's getting a little bit comfortable here, which I was a little bit worried for, right? So I've took this corner really wide just to try and carry some momentum through. And we're still sitting up a little bit here, but number 9's not going to have that, right? Let's just get a really tight little chain in. This guy from Sheffield, not quite sure why he pushed in there. If he'd have just pulled back, then that would have been fine. But with that slight cross headwind, I was all right with him sticking there and sitting on the wheel for number 9. But look, we're taking turns. But me and this beasting guy, look, we've been doing a lot of work. He's flicking his elbow at me. Right, okay, yeah, let's just get some watts down. keep telling myself, right, it's better to come fifth. It's better to come fifth than be in a break that doesn't work in these last 2 laps, right? Whether I believed it at the time, I don't know. We'd have to have a chat with me at the time, right? But right now, that's what I was telling myself. Again, feels like I did quite a big pull there, but I was feeling strong. I'm happy for that. Look at the pull that number 9's doing, though. He definitely wins, though. What an absolute pull. Gapping number 19 there. VB's still working. We're starting to get quite cohesive at this point. Working together, coming into this corner nice and quick to say there's a little ramp. I know it's only 24 miles an hour, but we've had a cross headwind that whole time, and there's a little ramp there, and we're pretty sure the peloton's going to sit up and let us go. Quick look over to the left, you might see some helmets over there. They have not let us go at all. That space has come back down again, maybe to 10 seconds, 12, 13 at a push. We have to work together, and at this point, I'm having a little bit of a shout, telling these guys to make sure that we work. Number 9 is having a real big shout on my wheel, especially because 19 just pulled straight off, right? As soon as he saw that, he's having a real shout. We're not going to have any sitting up, because if we sit up, we will get caught, right? And that was what was going to happen here, right? If nobody did anything, then it would be too late. We're coming down into this descent at 29 miles an hour. They're probably doing 31, 32. And somebody's got to work. Luckily, number 9, me, having a bit of a shout, 19, said, right, we'll do it, right? But me and Beeston, we had already done a lot of work on our own, so I think it's fair for us to sit up at least a little bit. But he's seen what I've seen there. He's going to attack into this corner. Remember I said that they weren't pedalling through the corner earlier? Well, I've held on to that. I'm still pedaling up until about here. But cutting it fine, yes. But what it means is I come out of this corner faster than the guy from Beeston. And what I had wanted to do is I'd wanted to come over, get over the top of him, come first into this chicane, and then when I came out of that chicane, go again, second kick, hopefully take the win. But it was just here that I cramped up in my left calf, and everything from this point felt like utter and entire agony, right? But you know what? Number 32, really good race, really strong race, great from the house race team, and number 9 did some real pulls there. So I felt privileged and honoured to come third with these boys. So that's been the house race team series. I'll be doing a couple more of these race reports. Follow my Instagram. Low watts, high ambitions. Look out for me.